Listen, I get it. When you really start to rock and roll, it's such an incredible feeling. You want to start pulling every possible lever to get yourself to capitalize on the momentum. But this is where inexperienced entrepreneurs make a mistake, a very costly one. Welcome to the Spinoso podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Alex Spinoso. My experience and expertise is in scaling all types of medical businesses to 7, 8, and 9 figures. And I'm sharing my journey to having multiple 8-figure companies and someday, hopefully, enjoying a 9-figure exit. This isn't a podcast telling you you should do this. I'm just telling you how I did this, and I hope that helps you. I want to help you build your business, take ownership of your life, and become a better leader at home and at work. And guys, I'd love to connect with you, especially if you're a medical entrepreneur. I have free courses available to help you scale your medical business. Check those out at dralexspinoso.com/courses. That is dralexspinoso.com/courses. I also invite you to connect with me on Instagram at Dr. Alex Spinoso, LinkedIn at the same, and every other platform, YouTube, etc. I am always Dr. Alex Spinoso. Thanks for listening. So I want to talk a little bit today about how success in business is often based on principles that are pretty counterintuitive. For example, this is not the principle I'm going to talk about today, but one example is my crisis mode approach to cash flow. I don't keep a lot of cash on hand. Our business is consistently reinvesting that cash as much as possible. It doesn't actually sit in the bank. We're reinvesting, growing, reinvesting, growing, reinvesting, growing. What's counterintuitive about this is that there's no actual security blanket. There's no safety net. We keep about a month and a half worth of business expenses in the account at all times. Otherwise, we are pushing. No safety net, no fail safe. If we have something major go wrong that requires a mighty infusion of cash, guess what? We're in deep shit. But Brent and I know that we have enough cash on hand personally to be able to put back into the business to let it grow. It's a counterintuitive principle that actually works. Because I'm betting the odds are in my favor. And for most businesses, the odds will be in your favor, granted you do the work. I'm betting there's not going to be some catastrophic apocalyptic event that deals a death blow to my business. So instead, I make that cash work for me. And it keeps me in that crisis mode mentality, which keeps me focused and keeps me working hard the entire time. Speaking of focus, that's what I want to talk about today. I did a short Instagram post on this, but I wanted to elaborate here on my podcast because it's so important for people to actually understand this. All right, let me start this way. Have you ever seen the great Mel Gibson movie, The Patriot? It's basically about the American Revolution. Mel Gibson plays this badass who is also a really badass father. He loves his family. He has both boys and girls. Well, at the beginning of the movie, when the British soldiers start attacking their family's homestead, Mel Gibson, whose name in the movie is Benjamin Martin, leads his boys out to ambush the redcoats. As they are readying their weapons, Benjamin Martin looks at his 2 sons and says, "Now, boys, what did I teach you about shooting?" And the boys instantly respond, "Aim small, miss small." And he says, "That's right, aim small, miss small." And in the next couple moments of the scene, these young kids have no problem cutting down the British. Aim small, miss small. What does that mean? In shooting, it means don't just fire in a vague general direction. Pinpoint your aim exactly where you want to hit. Focus in and zero down to the smallest possible area so that even if you tilt a little off course, you're still going to hit your target. Aim small, miss small. That's a counterintuitive principle that works in business too. In fact, it is exactly how anyone needs to work if they want their business to actually grow. Ask any successful entrepreneur and they will tell you, even if they don't use the phrase aim small, miss small, that principle is 1000% true. I have experienced this in my own life and in business as well. See, I was driving the other day and reflecting: aim small, miss small. Or put it another way, focus to grow. That has been the reason why many of my companies don't just generate $1 million a year. Instead, this year, 2024, they'll generate over $100 million in annual revenue. It's a lesson that I hope you'll learn as well. I just can't stress this strongly enough. Aim small, miss small. Focus and grow. What the hell am I talking about? In 2023, my business partner Brent and I made a tough decision to walk away from 12 insurance-based companies that we own. Each were causing endless headaches. Although they were making us money, we realized we were so consumed by these challenges that it hindered our ability to grow our main business, Genesis Lifestyle Medicine. Again, these insurance-based companies made us good money, but we had to ask ourselves, was it worth the heartache, the pain, the uncertainty? So we chose to prioritize Genesis, and it really began to flourish. I mean, it started to seriously take off. It was absolutely amazing. That didn't mean we then enthusiastically and recklessly added locations just to get bigger. That's what happens so often with entrepreneurs who experience some really good positive growth. They kind of get drunk off the growth, and continuing with the alcohol analogy, they start looking for every possible kind of liquor. And they start slamming down drink after drink, hoping to get more intoxicated with growth, with success. Listen, I get it. When you really start to rock and roll, it's such an incredible feeling. You want to start pulling every possible lever to get yourself to capitalize on the momentum. But this is where inexperienced entrepreneurs make a mistake, a very costly one. They start casting too wide a net. They start broadening their efforts so wide that it dilutes their effectiveness. They listen to the idiots saying you have to diversify. If you are in the middle of that right now, I strongly, strongly encourage you, stop. Take a deep breath. Aim small, miss small. Focus. This principle has to be in your mind constantly. It has to be a best practice. When Genesis started to seriously take off, did we go crazy? Expand and expand and expand without thinking? Nope. In fact, we focused again. From owning 40 locations, we streamlined to 20. And again, the results were exceptional. Now we're expanding again, but we are committed to staying focused as we do. With 4 new locations opening this month and another 10 on the horizon, is very clear you often expand by narrowing your focus. The key to growing bigger is for your focus to become smaller. In business, that's how you turn good into great. Focus to grow. Aim small, miss small.